Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Shy Hill Farm. I haven't expressed how deep my grief has been for Shy. So yeah, watch out. This week is going to be videos about Shy because it's been 6 months. This Wednesday will be 6 months. But in these 6 months, I haven't truly revealed the absolute depth of the valley dragged through my soul that I always knew was going to be there. There is a sword in my heart, and that sword will never go away. No, neither do I want it to. I'd be afraid of losing her altogether. I'm sure it doesn't really come as a surprise to most of you, having known Shy and me, but I just felt like I wanted to just to share my heart with you guys today on this Monday. I have a lot to say, and I've been saying that like I've got a lot to say, but I really do. But there is a sword in my heart, and sometimes it twists. And that sword was pointed at my heart 4 years ago when I wrapped my arms around an infirm chicken in March of 2022, and she stood up on her broken leg and came and hugged me back. And a few years later, we'll end up living in the house with us for 2 glorious, wonderful years where she flourished and became the toughest, roughest, most diva-like animal I've ever seen. And you all saw it. She was my heart. She was the love of my life. And God has blessed me on every level through her and with her, with the farm, with the chickens, with the channel, in ways I wish I could express. But I'm going to do my best because I've been sitting with a lot in my heart. Now I talk about God sometimes here, and I've told about the signs of the sparrows and the ravens. I have a very awesome fellowship and relationship with God. We have a very fun and robust and playful relationship. And you can see it in some of the stories. And so I've told the stories of the sparrows, the sign of the sparrows, and then of the ravens, and how it means that God is watching over the chickens and the sparrows and the ravens. How much more is he watching over us? Because he says we are of more value than many sparrows. So all these stories and the stories about Shy and how Shy's name means gift. The week before she died, I found out that her name means gift. If you knew who I was before I knew God in 2018 and did all this with chickens, you would not think I was the same person. And this was all a gift. Oh man. Anyway. The truth is, with all of my trust in God and all the fun and all the gifting, we worried about Shy a lot. Me and Keith both did. It's funny because I had this exact thing 6 months ago. I don't think I'm sick. I think I'm just emotional. I don't know. Anyway, or healing. I'm healing. I don't know. Keith and I really worried. This was a constant thing. And it was, she really did go through a lot of stuff. But we also just loved her so deeply and so intensely. And she just was such a brilliant, loving personality. But it was constant. Like every day, like when he'd call from work, it'd just be like, how's my girl? Meaning her, Shy. Just like making sure she's alive. If you're a chicken owner or a pet owner you worry about, you know what I'm talking about. Where you're just like worried about what can happen. And there's always like a lot of crazy things that could happen and crazy things that do happen if you've lost chickens. Oh my God, you could go and sit outside. She could get carried away by a hawk. So it's a lot. So, but we prayed and worried and prayed and worried. And I hated being worried because I'm trying to have faith in God that he takes care of us. But a couple of things that I specifically prayed for like all the time was that when it came her time to go and it was her end, that it would be sweet, Somehow, God, it would be sweet. And it was. Somehow it was. I also prayed that I would have peace. And I did. And I do. Even in the grief, there's been peace. I wasn't in turmoil about it. I had peace with it. And it was sweet. Those are good memories of those last two. Up to the very, very end. Up to that morning. It's all sweet, precious memories. My soul is at ease with all of that. Despite the grief and the pain. I also asked him that she would live a lot longer. And he said no. And maybe it was because we worried so much. And if that were true, then it's okay with me. Maybe he said it's enough. I don't know. Or maybe he wanted to release his gifts through the breaking of my heart and the humbling of my soul. Because that is what he does. And he does refine us through stuff like this. Truth is, Shai was always going to die. And now is the time. I'm going through stuff in my own life. I might as well just say it. I've been saying I'm going to say it. I'm going to just say it right now. In 2013, I was diagnosed with medullary thyroid cancer. And I've been dealing with this ever since. Everything's been stable, and it's like not a big, like massive thing. And it's not like the normal thyroid cancer people normally get. It's like annoying. But I'll go through for scans and I go for this, and it's very, very stressful to me. And I've been really overshadowed and stressed out about this thing forever and ever. So Shai being a gift, the sign of the sparrow, and that we are more valuable of many sparrows, goes way beyond Shai Hill Farm. Do you understand? Okay? That's the thing. I told you. So unless you made it 7 minutes into this video, you know the story now. That's the baseline of this whole thing. Anyway, so maybe he wanted to release his gifts through the breaking of my heart, the humbling of my soul. In September, before she died, because she stopped walking on October 1st. And remember, she couldn't walk. We discovered she had a tumor. But that whole time, she was just very happy and peaceful to be alive, and we were hanging out. She was probably the happiest she'd ever been, sleeping in the bed with us, cuddling, playing little games. She was happy up to the last moment. So I got the CD in September at a thrift store. It's In Excess Kick, and I was really into the song Never Tear Us Apart. And the second verse is, we could live for 1,000 years, but if I hurt you, I'll make wine from your tears. And I was really, really into the line, not thinking anything about Shai. Definitely thinking about God. And there's something called the 1,000 millennial reign of Christ, which occurs after he comes back and everything's destroyed. That he reigns for 1,000 years on the earth. So it makes me think of that. We can live for 1,000 years, and if I hurt you, I'll make wine from your tears. Well, wine comes from crushing. Okay? And in my crushing, so shortly after that, this all happened with Shai. And that song came to life, in a big way. And I have this thing with Jesus where he will sing to me through music. Like that. Like he's really singing in my heart. I'll make wine from your tears. I told you we could fly. Because we all have wings, and some of us don't know why. I was standing, you were there. Okay, you know the song. So in my crushing, I had nowhere to go but directly before God in those months. In October, in November, in December, when I'm going for scans, when I'm going to the prayer meeting, when I'm this and when I'm that, it's just me and God now. There's no distraction. There's no other thoughts. My heart, my soul, everything is rendered. I am broken pieces. I am raw materials before you, God. Here I am. I'm just raw. I'm so ruined. I'm broken. Everything is shattered. That's how it was. And it was in that place. It was in that place before God. I got nowhere else to go. In these past months, I can't tell you how much he's given me in insight, in wisdom, and love, and love. Do you know when grief and pain, they deepen you and they change your heart? Well, that's what's the gift of Shai keeps going. Do you hear what I'm saying? in a deepening of my soul, and a peace in the storms of my life. Not completely either, by the way. Like, I still got very upset with scans and blood tests and stuff. By the way, everything's been stable. But, oh man, okay. But one thing, I have a lot to say, lots of little things. But one thing I can say for absolute sure, that I know the one who wrote Shai's story is writing mine. And we are of more value than many sparrows and many Shais. And that's true for each and every one of us. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Does it make any sense? I hope it makes sense. Yes, I am crying with tears in my eyes. That's how my life is. That's just how it's been. Because even through it all, when I come on here and I'm smiling and laughing and being silly, that's real. I'm not faking that. I'm not faking it. But that promise, everything I could see about Shai's story from beginning to end, that's the one writing mine too. He's writing my story. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. What's the worst thing that can happen? I go be with Shai? Okay. You know, like what that, but I don't think that's not going to happen. I'm just saying. He's the author. Look what he did. He's doing that for you too. How much more? How much more you are more value than many Shais. So that is just part one. That's just Monday of Shai Week. Oh man, yes, I'm crying on the internet. Oh, if you're still here at this time, 12 minutes, thank you for listening. And thanks for being here. And this is a blessing from God. It is. It absolutely is. Everything about it. Just the story itself, and a story for me to tell. How lovely is that? An easy way to share his love through the story of my pet chickens and my Shai. It keeps getting better. And that's just one part. There's so much more. So no matter what you're going through, know that God really is in control. And I know things keep going, like bad things keep happening with stuff. But he did give us instruction. He said that we had to believe. He really did. He said we had to believe. He said we had to believe. I really have faith. You want it? You have to believe it. Jesus says that very clearly. That's his requirement, that we have faith. Real faith. A lot of us have faith in faith. Like, we believe in faith, but do we really have it? But with all these beautiful stories of my chickens and how he's come through over and over, and I do have stories, and I'm going to tell them. He's ministered who he is to me, and bit by bit, my faith grows. And that's more of the gift of Shai and Shai Hill Farm, and you guys for making it happen and sticking with me. Thanks for listening. I miss my girl. I give her a little kiss on the head every day. And it's just Monday. Oh, man. Oh, man. Listen, I love you. I'll see you guys soon. God loves you too. And he wants to write your story too. See ya.